Hello, and welcome along. Here we are to my weekly vlog, let's call it, about being the wife of a dying man. There's not too much to say this week, but we did take a bit of a trip down memory lane. Yeah, it's not been the most interesting of weeks, but we almost got 2 weeks without any poo incidents, which was really good. But on day 13, we did have an incident. It always seems to be actually on the day that our cleaner comes. She comes once a fortnight. And somehow we always seem to be sort of like working around her. I don't know, maybe that's just coincidence. But I don't get her to clean up Mick's shit. I clean up first and then she can clean after that. So it was good in one ways, and now we've kind of like, had that incident. But that was a couple of days ago. I mean, it was Easter this weekend just gone. We had a quiet weekend. We did have an Easter egg each. Mick had a dark chocolate Easter egg, and I had a white chocolate Easter egg. Our tastes have always been very different like that. He drinks red wine, I drink pink wine. Not that neither of us drink much at all, but if we're going to do things, somehow we can't share a bottle of wine, can't share an Easter egg because we always want something different. In fact, when we first met, I'm going off track a little bit here, but when we first met, we discovered that, I mean, partly because of lifestyle, because I'm 7 years younger than Mick, so I was a little bit behind in like, career and earnings and things. But when we first met, we discovered I always bought cheap and cheerful. I like throwaway stuff. I don't want to spend a lot of money on things because if I get bored with it or I don't like it, it breaks, or whatever, I don't mind then just throwing it away. So I kind of live in this like replaceable world. Where I just like, I mean, I always recycle and things if I can, depending on what it is, but I will like just get rid of things. Whereas Mick will but go the other way. He'll buy something really expensive so that he only ever has to buy it once and it lasts forever. So some along our relationship, we had to kind of find a way to sort of meet in the middle, which we have done quite successfully. So, but it's just interesting how different people can be. Um, but yeah, anyway, we had a decent Easter. It was quiet. We did have a couple of hot cross buns as well, but we didn't really overindulge, which is good because I've only got 79 days now until we go on our cruise, and I haven't shifted a pound yet this year. So I've got to work on it over this next couple of weeks. But that was fine. I mean, the weather's been a bit hit and miss. Well, no, it's been a bit miss really. We've had a few sunny spells. So I did manage to sit outside for a few minutes at a time. If I see the sun, I will go and sit outside for a few minutes. But that's kind of all it's been. It's really been mostly grey and damp, which I find really hard to deal with because it really affects my mood. But we did take the opportunity to take a little trip down memory lane this weekend. So we got our photos out from 2005 because 2005 is the year that we lived Mick's dream. And we did enjoy reminiscing about it because it was the year that we both gave up some jobs, and we bought ourselves a brand new motorhome. We mothballed our house and we spent 6 months traveling around Europe following the Formula One season. Always been mixed dream. And so we found a way to make it happen back then. I mean, we were both in full-time jobs. We had a mortgage, we had a house, but we just found a way that we had to do it. We were both a bit fed up with jobs at the time. So we just found a way. And I will in another video talk about tips. If anybody is looking to take a career break and thinks they can't do it, then there are some things that you can have a think about. So I took 6 months unpaid leave from work. I asked them, they said that was fine. If they hadn't, I would have left because that we'd made that decision. I was handing my notice in or taking 6 months unpaid leave. They they held my job open for me, which was fantastic. Mick left his job. He hated his job anyway, so he left. So we left our house. We set off. We did 10,000 miles in our motorhome. We did 3,000 miles on our scooter that was put on the rack of the van. We went to 8 Formula 1 races. We visited 10 countries around Europe and we spent £10,000. And we had such an amazing time. It was the trip of a lifetime. And it was lovely to sit down this weekend and just have a look at the photos, go through the memories, the chats, because in the photo album, I've written like little comments about where it was and funny things that happened, or good things, bad things, people we met, all these sorts of things. So it was nice to have a look back at all of that, and it was interesting because that's 19 years ago, And we were both young and fit and healthy, slim, no lines under our bags under our eyes. And you know, there were moments where it's quite hard for Mick to relate to back to that person that he used to be, because his life is so different now. But the biggest thing is we're so pleased that we did the trip back then, because we wouldn't have been able to do it later. So if I'm going to say anything to you, if you've got a dream, find a way to live it now while you absolutely can, because you just never know what's going to happen to you in your life. Don't wait till you retire. Don't wait till, you know, I mean, my parents actually went off traveling when me and my sister was sort of like 5 and 2. So it's not, you know, you can find a way if you really want to do it. And for us, it was making sure that we did live his dream. We didn't want to have any regrets. And at the time, we had no idea what was going to face us in life. So we are so pleased. And it was lovely to look through the photos and remind ourselves of all the memories, the funny stories, the racing, the weather, you know, our motorhome and the adventures that we had. And so that was really nice. But otherwise, it really was a quiet week. I've done a bit of researching on like parking or taxis or whatever to go to our cruise, because as I said, it's only 79 days away. It's on my board. I'm changing it day by day now. So we're on countdown. So I did have a look at cost of parking, which was expensive. We only live 5 miles from the bloody port, so I think it'll probably be a taxi if I can't persuade one of my friends to do it. But I think we'll probably get a taxi down there. We do like to be independent and not kind of rely on other people. So I think that's probably what we'll do. I did meet a friend for coffee this week. I've had a few clients this week, and we have watched lots of television. But that's what it is. I enjoy watching the New Life in the Sun and A Place in the Sun, because it kind of I enjoy watching other people live their dreams as well, and it makes me think about perhaps what I might do in the time after, you know, when I become single again and I'm living a different life. Then I am starting to think about perhaps what I want to do, and we'll revisit that over the coming weeks as I sort of put a bit of a plan together and do a bit of research, because that's going to be fun. And Mick's happy to talk through that with me. You know, I don't feel bad about it. It's fact that I am going to outlive him. And actually, wouldn't it be fun if he could help me do that research and think about what might happen afterwards? He's happy to do that. And that's what it's all about, you know, us deciding what's right for us. So, yeah, that's it, really. I'm off to the hygienist now, an hour my mouth open, and then we'll have a Subway. I'll buy a Subway lunch on my way home, so that'll be a good afternoon. And then we've got a Grand Prix again this weekend. It's in Japan, so some early in the morning, but we got Sky Plus, so we just record it and watch it when we want. So that'll be our weekend taken care of. And next week, I've got a few things on, actually, a couple of sociable things and that. So look forward to telling you all about that next week. Anyway, I hope you enjoy my ramblings. Do please subscribe and share this with people you think it might be useful to. If nothing else, I'm enjoying doing it. So anyway, have a fantastic weekend, and I will speak to you next week.